Hello and welcome back. We are now going to go over the homework for absolute value. This homework was assigned to only do the odd problems. So, starting with number 1, pools. The accuracy of a pool thermometer is the positive difference between the temperature reading of the thermometer T and the actual temperature of the pool P. All right, so it's the difference between P and T. Says write two absolute value expressions for the accuracy of the pool. So this is just like our meat thermometer problem from the examples. So the first one, we have the absolute value of the difference of T and P. And the other one that will do this is the absolute value of the difference of P and T. Three, water depth. An echo sounder is a device used to determine the depth of water by measuring the time it takes a sound produced just below the water surface to return or echo from the bottom of the body of water. Man, that must be scary in the ocean. The accuracy of an echo sounder is the positive difference between the depth of the water reading on the echo sounder R and the actual depth of the water W. All right, so it's the positive difference, so that's telling us we know it's going to be absolute value, and our two variables are R and W. Write two absolute value expressions that'll do this. Oh, okay. So absolute R minus W and absolute W minus R. Both of these will give us a positive difference between what the radar reads as the depth and the actual depth. Evaluate each expression for the following. Fun. So anytime we need to evaluate, we are going to do substitution. So let's get started. First up, we have the absolute value of negative n. N is 1, so that'll be negative 1 minus 2. M is negative 4. And P is 2. All right, so we have 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. So this becomes the absolute value of negative 1 minus 16. Oh, negative 16. So from here, we want to add the opposite. This gives us the absolute value of 15 for an answer of 15. 7. We have absolute Q. Q is negative 6 minus 2. M is negative 4. And T is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Negative 16 minus 16 gives us, let's see, negative 22. And absolute of negative 22 is just 22. 9. Let's start a little bit up here. We have absolute of P plus 4. Q is negative 6. And minus 3. R is 5. All right. 5 and negative 3 make negative 15. 4 and negative 6 make a negative 24. And 2. Negative 24 and negative 15 become negative 39. 2 minus 39 becomes negative 37. The absolute of negative 37 is just 37. 11. we have 2m. M is negative 4, so that's going to give us the absolute value of 8 plus 6, and the difference of Q and T. All right, Q is negative 6, and T is negative 2. So this is negative 6 minus negative 2. Oh, we're adding an opposite. That's always fun. Add the opposite. So we have negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. Eight and negative 24 added together give us negative 16. Absolute of negative 16 is 16. 13. Plugging this in. This one will always be negative. So we have 14 minus, let's see, n is 1, so that's just minus 6, plus 7 times the quantity of q, negative 6 plus 2t, and t is negative 2, so that's going to be negative 4. All right, and finish our absolute. From here, this becomes negative 10. Negative 10 times 7 is negative 70. And we have 14 minus 6. So we have 14 minus 6 minus 70. Let's grab a calc. 14 minus 6 minus 70 gives us negative 62. So we have negative absolute negative 62, which becomes negative 62. Next up, evaluate each expression. Same thing. But this time we have different amounts. All right, so let's take care of this first. It says A is 2. So our problem right here is 15 minus the absolute of 2 minus 3 times 2 is 6. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So this becomes 15 minus 4, which is 11. 17. Plugging in B for negative 3, we can just plug that in right here. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Absolute of negative 2 is positive 2, so the answer is 10. 19. A plus B, A is 2, B is negative 3. So, and what is C? C is negative 4. Oh, wow. So we have 2 minus 3 minus negative 4. Oh, we're going to add some opposites there. Well, 2 minus 3 is negative 1, so we get absolute of negative 1. And if we're minusing negative 4, we have to add the opposite, so that's plus 4. Absolute of negative 1 is 1, plus 4 is 5. Let's do orange. 21. Absolute 4 minus h. H is 6. Plug that in. Minus b, so that's minus negative 3. We're adding an opposite because we had a minus minus. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Absolute of negative 2 is positive 2, so the answer is 5. Evaluate each expression for the following. All right, we're getting decimal points now. So we have 2x, x is 2.1, plus z, which is negative 4.2. All right, well, 2 times 2.1 will give us absolute 2, sorry, not 2, 4.2. 4.2, and we could say minus 4.2. Plus 2, and y is 3. Hey, we have a 4.2 minus 4.2. That's going to make a 0. Absolute of 0 is just 0. So this is going to become 0 plus 2 times 3 is 6 for an answer of 6. 25. All right, if we plug in our values, let's write them over the top. So we've got a -2 right here. C is +2. Y is 3. And Z is -4.2. All right, so we have negative absolute. 5 times -2 is -10 plus 2 plus the absolute. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 8.4. -10 plus 2 is -8. Nine minus 8.4 is 0.6. Absolute of -8 becomes +8, but the negative out in front keeps it a negative. So our answer is going to be -7.4. 27, plugging in our values, y is 3, z is -4.2. We're going to have an added opposite there. So this gives us 3. We're taking minus -8.4 minus 3. Double negative, so we add that opposite. This gives me the absolute of 11.4 minus 3. This gives me 11.4 minus 3, which is 8.4. All right, now we're getting into fractions. Gotta love fractions. 29. C is -2/3. All right, now if you're bad at fractions, I would recommend grabbing a calculator or using Desmos. Desmos is a free calculator utility that the SAT now lets you use. It's built into the platform, so let's take a look. Well, negative absolute of, let's see, 6 times -2/3. Well, 6 times -2 is -12. -12 divided by 3. So we have 6 times -2/3. 6 times -2 is -12. -12 divided by 3 is -4. Minus 16 times b. b is 4/3. All right, so that is 16 times 3 divided by 4. That gives us 12. Plus 1. -4 minus 12 is -16. The negative absolute value of -16 is just -16 plus 1, so the answer is -15. Next up, let's write this over here. We have -2 times a, which is -1/2, minus 20b, which is 3/4, minus 12c, which is -2/3. Well, -2 times -1/2 is +1. -20, now there's two ways we could do this. The easy one would be -20 divided by 4 gives us -5. -5 times 3 gives us -15. Minus. All right, so this one again, it'll be easier if you do the division first. -12 divided by, well, we're going to keep that minus there. 12 divided by -3 is -4. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Because of the double negative, we have to add the opposite. 1 minus 15, that's negative 14. Plus 8. So this becomes 14 plus 8 for an answer of 22. 33. Plugging in C, that's negative 2/3. Plus A, which is negative 1/2. And let's make sure we get those absolutes in. All right, 15. So 15 times negative 2 is negative 30. Negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. So we have 5 minus negative 10. It's going to add the opposite. Plus negative 1/2. Add the opposite. So this becomes absolute 15 minus 1/2, which is 15 minus 1/2, which is 14.5. 14.5. GPS. A golf GPS is a device that can be used to determine the distance of a golf ball from a pin. The accuracy of golf GPS is a positive difference between golf ball is from the pin of the golf GPS G and the actual distance of the golf ball from the pin D. Write two absolute values. Okay, so we have our two variables. Let's highlight them. The accuracy is the positive difference between the golf ball, the distance a golf ball is from a pin on the golf GPS, G, and the distance a golf ball is from a pin, D. All right, so our variables are G and D, and we want the positive difference. So this is absolute G minus D, or we could use absolute D minus G. Evaluate the expression if the actual distance from the golf ball to the pin is 70 meters and the difference from the golf ball to the pin is 75 meters. All right, no matter which one we use, this is going to be the positive difference of 70 minus 75. This becomes the absolute value of negative 5, which gives us 5. 37. Create a real-world situation that could be represented by the absolute value of the expression x minus 89. Sure. I'm going to copy off of our notes using the guessing one, because we could put a stipulation to what this is in. So you pass the class. Pass the class if the between your score and 89 is, let's say if your difference, that means lower under, is 3 or less. No, it doesn't work. Let's do 11. Turn it into a chunky 11. Is 11 or less. And why are we saying 11 or less? Well, if you got 100, the difference is 11, so you pass. If you got 11 less than that, that's 78, which is still in the C range, but you can pass. And who knows, this could be a graduate course and they could have issues. All right, number 9. Diaz claims that if A and B are real numbers, then A plus B is always equal to absolute A and absolute B. Ooh, I love this. All we have to do is find one example where this is false. So let's use an easy one. Let's use -1 and +1. This is false. Let A equal 1, B equal -1. All right, so we're setting up kind of a proof here, but by using these values, we get the absolute value of 1 minus 1 equals the absolute value of 1 plus the absolute value of -1. All this isn't going to work because if we do this, this becomes the absolute value of 0, which is not equal to the absolute value of 1 plus 1. This becomes 0, does not equal 2. So this is false, and our justification is this bit right here. By using 1 and -1, this one becomes 0, this one becomes 2. They are not equal because the same numbers do not give us the same results. That's it for this homework. Have a great week.